The Padres have been trying to get past the Dodgers for so long. How do you avoid in this series collectively not looking back but looking forward?
いや他のみんながどうかは全然僕は分からないので何とも言えないですけど、自分はこの前ドジャースに勝ってすごく嬉しかったですけど、ここで終わりじゃないので、また次のなんていうの試合、フィリーズにフォーカスするっていう本当に単純なことだと思うので、特に考えることは僕はなかったです。
I can't talk for everybody else, but as far as myself, yeah, there is a sense of satisfaction, being able to beat the Dodgers and being here. But obviously, this is not the end of the road for us, and we got more games to play. So that's where my focus is, kind of plain and simple.
I know you like to talk about new challenges and how much you enjoy them. I know it didn't happen, but potentially pitching on short rest, did you enjoy kind of the preparation for that? And what was Game 4 like for you, kind of knowing that if the result went one way, you had to pitch the next day and otherwise today?
なんていうのかな、普通にゲームだから見てて、その5点を取る前の回に、ちょうどクレベンジャーとかともう先に LA 行った方がいいんじゃないかっていう話をしてて、もし負けた時のために、だから一気に5点取ったので、その状況を見ながら一応その試合中にその翌日のなんていうのかな、前日のルーティンを試合中にやったりとか、2対0だったので、負ける可能性があるということで、そういういろんな今までに経験したことないことがいっぱいありましたから、それはそれで楽しかったです。
Yeah, so as the game went on, you're watching the game in the dugout, and this was before we scored 5 runs. I was talking with Clev and those guys that, maybe I should go ahead to LA, just to be ready if there's going to be a Game 5. And and also during the game, I would go into the weight room and, do some workout stuff that I usually wouldn't do if it was, a regular rest. So, there were some things that, I would not normally do, but it was a good experience and, I think it was all fun.
When the Padres traded for you, was that a move that you were expecting? Did you think that the Padres would be a team that came after you? And what were your first impressions once you got here?
なんだろうな、何を考えたのかな。びっくりはしましたね。急だったので、そこだけで、でもすごくいいチームなのは分かってましたし、このそのなんていうワールドシリーズを勝てるチャンスがあるチームに行けたということで、それはそれですごく嬉しかった覚えがありますね。
Yeah, so I just remember that I was really surprised because it was something that happened so suddenly as far as the trade goes. But, I knew that it was a team that was capable of making it into the World Series. And, that said, I guess I can say I was happy about it.
I know you watch a lot of video of the other hitters to prepare. I'm just wondering, in a case like this, with facing the Phillies tomorrow, is most of that video here in the ballpark in your clubhouse? Do you take homework home? Would you watch video of the Philly hitters last night or tonight, or is that mostly at the ballpark? How do you go about that?
iPad なので、ずっとバッグにはどこに行く時も絶対持ってますし、家でご飯食べてる時でも妻と話しながら見ることももちろんあるし、一日中どこでも見れる準備はしているという感じですね。
All the information, all the video is on an iPad, so I can basically watch it wherever, whenever I want to. And sometimes during dinner, as I'm having conversation with my wife, so I'll be, taking a peek at the iPad and looking at the video a little bit. So, but yes, it's with me all times, and I basically look at it whenever I want to.
How much respect do you have for what they accomplished also coming out of the wild card situation? And how different is that team than the one you played at a couple times earlier this season?
Yeah, different, doing some things a little differently. Certainly have some starters to get your attention, some bullpen guys. I think they're getting Robertson back too. They can shorten games there. They have power. They run the bases. They steal bases. They can beat you in different ways. So we have to be ready for them on any number of levels.
Okay, we're going to go down here to Adrian.
Bob, have you had time to reflect on how important it was to win that series in 4, the way you did, and can kind of align your pitching now, and also with the potential for 5 games in 5 days from 3 through 7? How does that change what you might?
Yeah,
do
that's
on
kind of
those?
crazy. I've never seen that before. So, both teams have to be cognizant of that as far as your pitching in a 5-game series. A little less patient in a 7-game series, especially when you have 5 in a row. You're going to have a little bit more patience, potentially. So just a little bit of a different dynamic as far as that goes. It is nice to be able to line our pitching up and, having 2 days off, one we get a full day off and then work out. But, this lineup tends to tax your pitchers regardless. I'm just glad we didn't have to go to a 5th game where we, had to use Darvish and then our bullpen again.
Darvish just said that he was going to be ready for Game 5, and part of the thinking in the conversations you had was he was going to be mad if he didn't get Game 5. So I'm wondering how that played out on your end.
Mad? Okay. I don't know how to answer that.
Okay,
He was going to get Game 5, so he wouldn't have been mad.
Hey, Bob, both these teams have a fair share of star power. For whatever reason, it kind of took them to this point in the season to really hit their stride. A lot of kind of desperate types of games late down the stretch, and now they've kind of fed off the energy of their home crowds. Do you sense some similarities in kind of your paths here, and what could all of that, how could all of that influence this series?
Couldn't be more, same for us. Everything that you said there is basically the same for us. So similar type teams, both got here the exact same way, having to play, games that felt like postseason games at the end. Wasn't particularly easy. Both teams probably benefited from that it was hard getting in. And both teams have played really well against teams that, won divisions for the most part. Mets didn't win their division, but they won 101 games. So a lot of similarities across the board in these teams, not only in, what rosters look like, rotation looks like, but certainly how they've played it, we played as well. He's always had a big impact here. It's just, this year he missed a lot of games, so he wasn't around as much. As far as being on the field. But, Will is a terrific athlete. I mean, if you're around long enough, he runs well, he throws well, he plays multiple positions, he's got power. And the guy really here that's been here the longest. So he's very impactful in the clubhouse. On the field, be able to do different things this year, I think, has been inspiring for him to be able to help the team out in different ways. And I think that's speaks to who he is as a player, that he doesn't get caught up too much in personal numbers. It's all about how he can help the team. Whether he's been pinch hit for, he's never had a problem with that. He playing first base, playing the outfield, moving around. Sometimes that's difficult, but he really enjoys that. So he's a big personality in our team. Apparently in downtown after the games and everything too, from what I understand. So they like him here in San Diego.
Okay, we'll take one last one down here, Tim.
Bob, I think there may be people who tune into this series and marvel at what you're able to do without Fernando. I'm wondering what, over the course of the season, that obstacle, how you sort of maneuvered around that, and who has filled in, and perhaps what has actually been beneficial from it.
Well, we've had no choice. There have been a couple different letdowns based on the fact that we thought we were getting him back and then we didn't. We were looking forward to that, as a team, that type of caliber of player, which is very rare that somebody has a skill set like that. So maybe overcome some disappointment as far as him not coming back, but certainly the trades impacted kind of what our team looks like. Bring in a couple more start player type, caliber type players, which, enhanced our team as we went along. But I think the team managed the kind of the drama and some of the stuff that revolved around, the Fernando situation, and handled it really well. He handled it well. I mean, as far as when he came back and spoke about it. So from that point on, we've just kind of moved on and kind of felt his support. I text with him kind of every other day or so, and he's very supportive right now. So it's just something we've had to deal with.